It is now 7 o'clock. I want to call to order the Town of Halifax Planning Board meeting for July 6, 2023. I'll also announce that this planning board meeting is being recorded by Area 58 Community Access Television and can be viewed on YouTube. We are located at the Selectmen's Meeting Room at the Town Hall in Halifax at 499 Plymouth Street. In attendance this evening, on my far left is Rick Merry. On my immediate left is Bert Gaynor. On my far right is Brendan Elliott. And on my immediate right is Amy True. The listings of matters are those reasonably anticipated in this agenda by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. We have a 7 o'clock appointment, a hearing regarding 933 Plymouth Street, site plan review for Magical Years. I believe it's being presented by Gabriel Padilla. Is Gabriel here? Not yet?
No.
He's not coming?
No, I believe that he's supposed to be here, but
Okay.
I think you have all the information.
Well, we have,
Do you have the site plan review?
Do you want to proceed without him, or?
You know. Do you think I can?
Nobody knows the place better than you, right?
That's right. I just emailed him, I was like, you're...
Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the site plan?
yeah, I'd like to look at it though.
I came in earlier.
Thank you.
I just wanted to confirm it's 933 Plymouth Street and 150.
And 150
Yes.
industrial, yeah. I stand corrected.
Okay, yeah, no, it's in the... I can take a copy too.
You want one? Tom, can I have one? I guess she wants one for her.
I think there's more of them.
But,
It was like 9.
okay.
There's also a smaller version in our notes, right?
Original submission.
So,
What date did we receive it? What's the stamp date on that, right? Do you know the stamp date?
This one was June 7th.
June 7th.
This says June 21st, so. That doesn't mean.
I think the June 21st one might be, because there was some changes.
I'll just share with
or,
Brendan.
take this one, okay.
Is that the 21st one?
I believe so. I mean, I've got this version of it. It's a little bit more simplified version. but-
There were a couple of
This is
revisions.
the 7th.
I think it was more on the 933 from the street, I think it was like the gates for the...
I have a June 12th
Oh, this is, well, received the 28th.
of June,
Yeah, June 28th.
so that means these are old.
Oh, I see.
These are old.
This just says revised per fire chief comments.
Right, that's the operative one, that's all we want.
We're doing the stamp.
Just making sure that's...
Oh, yeah, per fire chief, you got it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yes, no worries. Now we can proceed, so
Okay.
that's good. I was gonna go on. I'm a good, interrupt you.
She was willing to jump in and take over, so.
Yeah, that works good for me. You know that thing?
My apologies.
No, don't worry about it.
So from the changes we had from last time,
Please, Louise, so sorry. Fumbling here.
so we had conversations with the fire department. They had some issues with the access around, as I recall originally, we had the play area around here. It was not feasible to them, so we moved into this area. We put the fencing around it. The last comments we got from the fire department was that they wanted a gated access. We added those gates here, and everything else was taken care of.
Where are the gates, I'm sorry?
So the gates are adjacent to the existing building, so pretty much where the fence starts and where the fence ends.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I
proposed
think,
gate.
so that was for the, so we have the two properties here.
That was 933, which
That was 933 with the
Yeah,
gate.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay, over here so that they could get the,
Yeah,
get
same,
access.
same thing, we have the gates on either side of the playground. That way we have access all around.
I think that was the only question the fire chief brought up and
Yes.
Yep.
was addressed.
Yeah. And so those were put in there. And then originally I had come in for the move, we had the playground here, we moved it over here. And so he seemed happier with that plan.
How did that affect, or did it affect any of the parking requirements?
No, actually, we have an overage of parking.
I thought so when I did the count earlier, but I just wanted to ask the question if at least was considered.
Yes, actually, on the right side, there is the calculations for the parking
I
spaces.
saw that.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions?
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody signed off on it, and the only thing the fire chief was asking for was that, and it was fixed, I don't see why there's any issue to
Seems
have it
reasonable.
stuck in the mud, right?
Yeah, seems reasonable to me. But anyone has any concerns or questions?
No.
Are we good?
He was okay with access to it as far as emergency vehicles and all that stuff?
Yes, yes, that was the first major concern that we took care of.
So the other play area there on Industrial Drive, that's all fenced in, there's no gate or anything there, right?
There'll be two big gates, I believe, on either side.
Like to
On the
allow,
one on Industrial
if there
Drive?
was a fire, like that kind of a thing to allow them around the building, right?
It gives them it'll give them three accesses to the building.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to come in.
Yeah, proposed and proposed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just, those are just little small ones.
We have the two curb cuts. And so, they can come in this way, he has full access
Okay.
here, and then he comes this way, he has full access to get to all the points that he needs to. His concern was not being able to get
Around that.
fully around this way. And, but I do believe we have gates all here so that they're able to get in. And the double wide gates is here,
Yeah,
so that if they did need to get back.
that's what I was,
Any questions, I know? I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve, what's the site plan, what's the application? Is it 236? Is that it?
23 SBR 236.
That is it, yeah.
23 SPR 236, as corrected and presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Sounds unanimous.
Great.
And we even have a signature block, which is a wonderful thing.
Do we have a Mylar plan anywhere?
No, that I don't know.
A what?
So this is a Mylar, and it needs a special pen for the recording.
It's not a ballpark, right? It's just a-
No, it's, remember that soft one? that-
Yeah, the soft tip one.
Maybe I would have. No.
Well, what we can do is we sign the paper copies and then we,
Yeah, I'm just gonna see.
Want me to go check the office, see if there's one in there?
yeah, there might be one up there.
Or is there one up top?
There you go. Oh, good job.
Look at that.
That's why you're clerk. You know where everything is.
July.
So just
6th.
confirming this is the go-ahead, I can
Yes.
go ahead.
There's no waiting period on this. No, it's fine.
Okay.
No. July 6th, correct?
Yes, that, July 6th.
Yay, let me get on my show.
I was gonna say that. To see that.
I'm actually really good at that.
Not just big eggs.
Kristen.
Yes. I don't know about that.
No, I don't either. I wouldn't trust that as far as I could throw it.
Yes, I
Just one?
right on yourself.
Yeah, thank you. It's always better.
You know this is the one you record, right?
Yes, so I take that.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have it, you know.
Just bring that back.
You gotta sign them too.
The minor will end up being the registry of deeds. And then you're gonna have a copy, and we have a copy for all the different departments.
Okay.
And then that way, if you ever needed a copy, it's in the front.
Okay.
We should sign a couple copies of these just to have.
Thanks, Darcy.
Yeah. I think they gave me a little extra.
Yeah, do you want us
Oh,
to sign
yeah.
all?
We're gonna, yeah.
Are there other ones we signed?
No, you have a copy of it signed.
Yes. All right. So
Oh,
you're gonna keep that.
You're gonna take the Mylar, and then we'll keep all the other copies we signed, but you can put
This
this
one.
one. Yeah, for you, for you.
Good. Yeah.
I've forgotten how paper-driven the planning board was.
Yeah.
That's that one, right? You
Very
might- I don't know
1970s.
if it'll smudge, Darcy, but you, I don't know, if, I mean, like, do you wait a minute or two?
So I drive. Oh,
And then
should I
yeah.
fancy?
Yeah. And then here's your old
Hold it up a little while you grab one.
Did you see what I drive? It would fit. Take it to that.
There you go.
On the bus.
Wanna do a copy?
Well, we wanna do yours and then we'll pass them down, and how you wanna do it.
Yeah. You have these.
Yeah, and then that way we have one plan and one for water.
Yeah, anybody can-
That way,
yeah.
they're there and accessible. I think the way about the town parks is
Could hurt your assessors too.
that's what I was hoping, that everybody would have it.
Here you go. These are mine. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Enjoy your summer.
Thank you. You too. Stay cool.
See ya.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, we don't get to escape here.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, it's a good start. I assume everybody got the email Peggy's out tomorrow, but she'll be back in Monday. And then she's
It's just for the day, right?
yeah, no, she's taking a food drive after Monday.
Use your real name this time. Use your real name this
How
time.
to spell?
No.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So Robert?
All right, one down, excellent.
I feel like.
We have now this belongs in there. Moving on. A continuance of a hearing for 359 Plymouth Street, site plan review. Gabriel Padilla is here. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Always sensitive about last names being pronounced.
I get it a lot.
We have evidence that the special permit was recorded, so that part of it's taken care of. I assume you are in possession of the correspondence regarding some issues on the property?
From the letter, Mr. Clay?
Correct, yeah.
Excuse me. Yes.
And there was a response from your office, but if
Yeah.
you'd like to speak to it, that would be good.
Yes, so the main issue that we are discussing here is the runoff from the site into Mr. Coletti's lot. I will show you here.
I apologize, we don't have an easel here.
Yeah, I apologize for mine, it's not the best. But we're gonna be flipping some pages here. So these are the contributing areas and to the different points that they go as of right now. So the section, the area of the lot that goes to Mr. Coletti's yard would be this area. That contributes to what his issues are about. With the construction that we're doing, we are going to reduce that area to this strip. Everything else is going to be captured. There's going to be a Cape Cod berm all along this side, so no water will go in this direction. Now, we designed this to hold up to the 100-year storm. So on the 100-year storm, he's not going to see, there will not be an increase in volume or flow to the lot. Another issue that was brought up was the salt storage areas. So we have them on the left side, however, if we put them on the right side, it's going to be closer to the well. So in that case, we have it here, it's closer to the treatment train of all the stormwater that we are treating. So if there's any leak or rainfall where salt and water mixes in, it will go through the treatment system and then out. So we're not discharging any untreated stormwater outside of this area.
Yeah.
What is that?
Hold on one second.
Just let him finish one.
The other issue that was brought up was the tree line along the property line. So the trees that are on his property, obviously, we are not touching. Those trees will remain. The other trees that are on our lot, we will protect to the greatest extent feasible. We're not looking to tear down any trees here. And in the case where it gets critical, we might push back this slope and maybe add a wall. But as of right now, we don't see any damage to the trees along that property line. And those were the major issues on the letter. I'm not thinking much further. Remind my memory, refresh my memory.
I just want to refresh mine.
I have copies if you guys.
No, I don't get it right here. You've got them, I just want.
Ron, have you seen the report? Do you want to?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Public record.
Thank you very much.
Because I only have from November 14th, is it that plan? Is this the November 14th plan, or is there revisions since?
I believe the last plan we sent out was dated June 20th. June 14th.
There's another folder.
33.
Have you sent in the latest revision to the planning board?
I do believe so, it was sent out with the packet.
This is not November 14th.
That was back in the, when we did the response to Pat Brennan.
That's what I figured, I'm just double checking.
So
since
after,
this
the
is what
thing
we
is,
got.
after that, we also, we responded to Mr. Coletti's letter. There were no changes in the plan.
Ron, what's the date on the front of that stamp?
November 14th.
So that's not a current
Yeah,
stormwater?
that's the older one, yep.
That's not current, sorry.
Okay.
I tried.
Well, this is frustrating because we do
Bet.
not have what we need.
Want me to run up to the office?
Can you get in?
My key's in the car. Do you have a key?
No.
I can run out and get that key and see if you want to take a recess.
Yeah. We'll, gonna recess for 10 minutes here and see if we can get some copies.
Do we need to vote to do that or good?
We can vote just to be,
Make a motion that we recess for 10 minutes so that we can go see the updated plans.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous. Question. Call the meeting back to order. Gabriel, you're back on.
So, yeah, I explained all I have on that. From the previous plan to this plan, the changes were pretty minor, based on the peer review from Pat Brennan. The only changes, we had a structure, a manhole that turned into an oil grease separator.
Okay.
We made all the changes for that. Other changes that he had was specify the type of fencing that we have around. We put a detail on sheet 8 that has all that information, typical stuff like that. So nothing major from the last time we got together.
Ron, you have some questions?
Yeah, so again, the property line, how far do you have to bring the elevation up for the proposed property?
Looking at about 4 feet
Okay,
at the max.
yeah, because from what it shows, like in my front yard,
Yep.
there's about a 5-foot difference. So that's my concern, not so much, as far as the trees are concerned, if you have to raise that elevation 4 to 5 feet, let's say, what happens to those trees? I mean, they're not going to be able to
Well,
survive if you bury them, so I just want to know what the plan was there.
the trees on your property are not going to be touched. So the trees on our property, we could weld them, or we could, but that would be on each individual tree. There might be other ways to go around it, but we don't have any plans of getting rid of any trees along that tree line.
So are you going to weld them? Is that your idea? Or?
We would look at that, yes.
But in any event, Mr. Coletti's trees are not going to be,
No. We stay within our property line.
All right. And then another question you had mentioned about was there a salt treatment you said? Is that what it is?
Well, the treatment is the regular stormwater treatment as required by the state. It goes through what we call sediment forebay, which picks up most of the coarse grain stuff. Then it goes into a swale, which further eliminates those solids. Then it goes into an infiltration basin, which just infiltrates everything.
So you mentioned that, you didn't want to move it over to the right because of the wetlands. But in fact, when it filters out, it's all going to filter out into that anyway, so.
Well, the problem is, we are here in this area, and this is the outlet. If the outlet were on this side, it would go directly into the infiltration, and infiltrate in a greater concentration. So that's where we have it as close as we can to that exit point, so it gets the full treatment.
Okay, so right now, is there proposed like a Cape Cod curve or something?
Yes. Along the whole side of the pavement, along this whole side, we have a Cape Cod berm around the whole site, and we designed it so that in the 100-year storm event, water will not overtop that. So water will, from here, will never cross to your side. That's pretty much, we've taken a bigger area and we reduced it, so you will see less water going into your yard.
I noticed too on the thing here, it made mention that You comply with all the stormwater management design calculations and whatnot that were all submitted, so
Was the study done that already?
There should have been. That study that I handed you was given to us on November 14th, and there is an updated one
Yes.
that I can't find because there's a bunch of storage in the planning board office.
I just know that
Christmas stuff.
all behind all those properties, water collects there
And
during the rain
that doors
season.
was open, I
And
left.
puddles there, like large puddles. And there's basically a natural swell that runs behind all those properties and eventually empties into the pond across from the fire station. Now, I just want to know what's going to happen when that property gets raised up, because it's going to create a stoppage, let's say, for that natural swale, so.
But now the contributing area to that water is gonna be a lot less from this site.
Yeah, but
So anything beyond the property line, we're not touching. So the water will keep going as it still goes. And that's pretty much the main point of the design, is that we maintain or better the existing conditions. And that's what we've done here. So we added a swale in the back area out here to mimic that same natural swale that goes to the wetland. And this swale here does not pick up any of this. This is clean water. There's no pavement impervious surface runoff going into that swale.
In terms of volume of water, I mean, the volume is going to be whatever it would have been anyway. It's just a matter of how we're treating it, correct?
It would be less because we're infiltrating.
It's not going to be running off.
No. Actually, the flow that's coming now is higher than will go out once this is done. So we've reduced the flow.
I'm not sure if, I assume PG, because I wasn't involved in all of this, PG&B has reviewed all of this. Am I correct in my assumption with that?
yes.
In terms of this latest inquiry, I'm also going to make an assumption that they haven't had a chance to look at that and see if the questions were addressed. They seem to be, but I don't know if
We don't have any answer.
perhaps just a quick,
I thought there was a letter in there.
well, I don't think it was from PG.
It wasn't from Brennan,
No, it was from,
Brian. Jim.
it was from Grady.
yeah, no, that was from Brady's responses.
PG&B Engineering.
No, I understand, but the most recent letter,
But then-
Mr. Coletti's letter was,
July 5th.
Yeah,
Yeah, Paletti's letter came after the peer review.
yeah. I'm just suggesting maybe just to
I agree.
have them take a peek at it and see if the responses are reasonable. I think that's due diligence, but that's just my opinion.
I 100% back that.
I don't want to delay this any more than we have to, but I think it's a reasonable thing to do. If anybody has any thoughts on it,
I don't see why I would have to go past the next meeting though.
no, I mean,
You know, give them a chance 2 weeks to review everything, updates, get the most updated stuff that's not from November, and
Make sure we have all
give
the
the final
plans.
thumbs
Yeah.
up, and
The updated.
at least from them, so that we can
Would you like that in the form of a
address
motion?
yeah,
all
we'd
the
have,
butters, concerns.
we'd have to do an emotion. I mean, I think it looks pretty good, but I personally would be more comfortable having to just take a quick look at it and see that it was.
I'll make a motion then that PG and
I wanted to add one thing so that the motion will be clear. I wanted to make sure we have all of the plans that are updated and the current stormwater management in our office.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if we've already got it.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. I checked all of the files.
Paper they have in
Yeah, that's what I was
office,
wondering.
yeah. Yeah, okay, I mean, assuming we can have current copies of everything.
will you make sure of that if copies are sent out? Or double check to make sure that they were sent out.
I
They could very well be sitting in
If
Eddie's
you don't
office.
have it, I'll make sure
I
you
understand,
get
We
copies.
gotta have them.
Yeah, I'm confident we do, it's just a
That's
matter
why
of
I
finding.
told, yeah.
Then I'll make a motion that the final changes, corrections, and additions to the site plan as requested by abutters and others be reviewed by PG&B and ready for our next meeting.
Yeah, And
What,
we'll
you want to,
continue the hearing until.
what's the date, whatever the date?
That is the 20th, I believe.
Yes, 14 and 6, yeah.
Yeah.
So is,
I'm sorry, yeah.
I have one other thing about, I was never contacted about the trees. I was told that mark the trees and we would contact you and see if it was feasible or not. And I was never contacted. Like they said on the 18th meeting, I was like, really? I've been here the whole time. I'm retired, so I don't go too far. But I have marked the trees, and actually I brought pictures. I only marked 4.
I'm going to stop you for 1 minute though, because we have a motion on the floor. I just want to take care of this motion.
But we might need to add that in there,
Or we can withdraw the motion for the time being.
because it's the trees that should be. on
Yeah, I
this.
was going to ask, because I knew that there was another question about trees. Let's do this properly. Let's withdraw the motion for the time being and a second.
I'll withdraw the motion.
Do we have a second? I don't think we do.
No, we didn't have a second.
Okay. All right, so,
Yeah.
so,
But-
No,
So,
no,
yeah,
no,
okay. So, my husband, when we had our property surveyed, put stakes in. So we have looked, we found the stakes, we dug them up, and it looks like, according to your plans, it's very feasible that even though these trees are on your property, they could be saved because they're gonna be almost right where you got your screening trees. So I've only marked 4 that I would like, keeping some canopy instead of having it just stark. This is,
just to be clear, these aren't your trees, these are the trees on the subject
yes,
property.
yeah, and they knew that
Okay.
going on.
Can you tell them what the trees are, and can we have a copy of those for our
Sure.
files?
And they're marked, is that correct?
Yes, they've got an orange ribbon around them. I don't know if you've been on the property and seen this. 2 of them are actually walnut trees,
Yeah, yeah.
and 2 of them are
And then these ones, I guess, are the white pines.
maples. But the maples are mostly for the canopies and stuff. I'm not sure about the others, but if you could save any of that canopy, it looks like the swale that you're gonna be putting in is gonna be on the other side. So, I'm hoping, and in fact, that might take down, because you said that you would put down the 8 to 10 foot screening trees. Yeah.
On this side, in this area, so.
So it
All
looks,
right, well, just for clarity, everyone can't hear what's going on, so we're going to have to do this one at a time, okay?
And I've been talking about the cruising side, 2 foot to something like 8, you know, 10. I don't know what
Steve, is that an increase in the tree size?
sitting on.
yeah, they agreed at one of the meetings.
So sitting on it before it.
Steve's quiet.
All right.
Guys, you gotta
Yeah,
direct it towards the board.
yeah, a couple of comments, one thing, but we can't have a running conversation going on without us being involved in it.
To recap what you were just stating to the engineer, was it that you want to upgrade the size of the trees that they're planting?
These trees across here.
Okay, and,
They got them showing this high.
okay,
Okay.
and you're
They need
proposing,
to be like 8 or 9 feet, 8 or 10 feet.
okay,
Because they've got to make a barrier, because it opens from her house, it opens the whole thing up.
Right.
Through 106.
100%.
Right, and those pictures there are what I see now.
Right.
So if we could save any of that, I would be, I would like,
We'll definitely take a look at that, of course. Yeah, we'll take a look
Yeah.
at that.
Those pictures there were taken from over here this way. Some of the trees she's got in that pictures are in this area here, which I don't know how much construction you're gonna be doing in there. I know there's a swale and so forth, but some of them, they're beautiful maple huge. And there's a couple, up in this end here, there's a couple of like walnuts, so I don't know whether it's gonna be in the way of what
I think at the end of the day, this is gonna be something that the owners are gonna have to work out.
Yeah, that's a discussion to have.
That's a discussion the owners are gonna have to.
So if we go back to one of the previous meetings, when the two of you, when we were originally going through the list, you had discussed those trees, marking them off, and you had said that that shouldn't be an issue, assuming, you know, what trees they were. So I think that's just between now and the next meeting, making sure the two of you, or the two parties,
Yeah.
are able to communicate and either agree or negotiate. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we'll be here all night talking about the hypotheticals.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly,
so
yeah.
without being actually on the property, so is that cool if you guys?
I'll take her number and I'll.
Yeah, just,
We didn't have her contact us, but we could find her.
Sure.
Well, it was at the planning board, and I left it with Brady also.
Well, the good news is, we're moving forward. So
Moving forward.
over the next 2 weeks, we're gonna clarify this and,
Yeah.
We'll try to wrap this up at the next meeting.
But he's no longer with them. That's right.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
happened.
there's been a change in employment with who they're using, for who you left the number with. So either way, it's what we're doing from here moving forward that matters.
so what we need now is we need a motion for what we wanted to do, and we also need to incorporate that we're gonna continue the hearing on the 20th. I'm not sure if we did that.
Well, we'll start that motion again. You
Right.
wanna-
Sure. I'll make a motion that we continue the petition for 359 Plymouth Street to get an updated site plan review with the new changes, or to make sure that the new changes are on are part of our file and our record. In the meantime, I'm hoping during the 2 weeks to our next meeting, which would be June 20th, that
July 20th.
I'm sorry, July 20th, that the two parties, butters can resolve some matters as far as height of the trees in the back and the saving of some of the others. What else am I missing? Amy, what else am I missing?
July 20th, 7 o'clock? Just the time.
Yeah.
And if you guys could just send us an email
And you
in
want
writing,
Brendan-
whatever you agree on. That way it's.
You want
we
to
don't have
run and
to-
take a look at that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
That
In the
was
motion to
start
have
of it.
PG and B to review the changes if they haven't
Address the
already.
letters, the
Yes.
correspondence, yeah.
Address the correspondence if they have not already.
So say it one more time and I'll second it.
No.
I'll second the original.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Can't be done. I think we got the gist of all of it in there.
Yeah.
I wrote down, so PGB addresses the correspondence, the trees, and then continue to July 20th, 2023 at 7 PM.
And hopefully that should be good enough
Yep.
for the next meeting.
You get a second for that?
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Here we're done, unanimous.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So however you want to, do you want to take their number? Or you want to give them?
He actually, the meeting, it's actually recorded, he.
Just for the sake of saying that we did it, do you want to just give them another one? Give them your number, write it down on something?
Sure.
There. We'll just do it here.
There you go.
That way there's no discrepancy. Measure twice, cut once.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Take care.
See you later, guys. Have a good night. Take care. All right, see you later.
Night, Mr. Corrigan.
Okay.
See you in a couple weeks.
I'll let you know when I come from the office.
That's great, thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Good night, thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Yep.
Awesome.
No.
Thanks, guys.
See you in a couple
All
weeks.
right, see you in 2 weeks.
Take it easy.
You too.
Next item up is the continued hearing for 0 and 314 Plymouth Street, which we're apparently not going to do because they have asked to continue to 7/20/23.
Okay.
How's our time look on that, Amy Louise?
Don't have that file with me.
Yeah,
We continued it, I thought we continued it to the next meeting anyways, didn't we? And then that we would have brought it forward.
Yes, we did. We
Right?
continued it to the following, if it was available to be done beforehand, we would, but we gave it a 60-day.
And the plan is not
So we
ready.
don't really need to continue, I
Okay.
don't believe.
Well,
We
unless
could
we-
make
within
sure.
the-
It couldn't hurt to
Okay.
just continue it until the 20th.
Okay.
I just mean time-wise, if we're within the,
I'm-
I thought we
constructive
had until
approval
like
time.
the beginning of August. Or no, the end of August, does that sound right? I think
yes,
It's 27th or
I
something.
think I
Like the 20
agree. It
something,
was towards the end,
right?
so we should reset.
All right, I wasn't here, so,
That, no, it was the meeting that you were at.
oh,
and
well, okay. I didn't know if
that-
it came up at the last meeting. That's
No.
why.
We had.
We were
purpose-
upstairs. We were upstairs, I believe.
Yeah, it was, I think it was the first meeting you were here,
Okay, maybe, yeah.
or second. And we knew that you were going to go away, so we continued it to the second meeting in July and made sure that they
Okay.
were extended into August so
Yeah,
that we
we
wouldn't
did.
have any issues, right? Right? Everybody's on that page? All right.
I'm going with what you said.
So I don't.
If you want to
And if we're
know,
wrong,
oh,
How about we?
all those in favor?
How about we say,
Second.
we will make sure that the motion made on, where's my phone? First. Was it June 1st that we did that?
June 2nd. Yeah, June 1st.
You wrote it down.
Well, those are the
Oh.
meeting minutes for 6:15, so it would have been the meeting before that.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I think we went 60 days out,
I agree. So,
which would have been
July, August.
August 1st.
It was at least 60, because we were tossing around 60 or 90. I think.
how about this?
We're
Make-
safe, though.
We're going to make a motion or to allow the public to understand that we will be seeing 314 Plymouth Street on July 20th at 7 o'clock. July 20th, 23 at 7 o'clock. That the applicant will make sure that we are extended into the August time period and, does that work?
Didn't we just give them 7 o'clock, or we just doing them all?
Well,
I think
it's
it's
that
everyone all at
whole
7,
order.
starting at 7, yeah. And trying to do them in order, because otherwise what happens is if you give everybody a half an hour and somebody doesn't show up, now you're sitting here for a half an hour.
We'll be here until 8:30.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Summer,
Or worse.
exactly.
No thanks.
Okay, so, to be sure that we are continued on the hearing of 0 and 314 Plymouth Street to July 20th, 2023 at 7 PM, and that the applicant will make sure that they are extended into the late August time period, 2023.
And that the final
For
site
their
plan is ready at that point?
Yeah.
Yes, and that their final site plan will be ready for us to review on July 20th, 2023.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none opposed, unanimous. All right, moving right along. Discussion and action to be taken. George, Riders Way, request for pond return. Mr. Fobrowski will be present. I believe he's present.
I am. Good evening.
Evening.
What is he putting over there next to Coletti's?
It's like a contractor.
Yeah, it's a landscaping
Oh,
company.
it's like a contractor building, like a base?
Yeah.
Base?
Yeah, but not for retail sale. He just for his
Just
own
for equipment, right.
operation.
Everyone's putting them up there, everywhere.
The zoning board of appeals gave him a special permit to be in the commercial district of Halifax, and, because really it's only
Nice to
allowed in
get something a little better
industrial.
looking in our town, right? Another commercial building.
They actually adjusted it so that it doesn't look quite as much of like a steel building like it, the one behind
Yeah.
Lowell. And this, because it's on 106, they actually catered it to,
Like the Gursky's building.
yeah, this one, because it's right on 106, they catered it to, they changed the design for us, so it looks nice.
They've been pretty accommodating.
Yeah.
I built a couple of them, same thing with a whole front. I facaded it to look like farmhouse.
Yeah.
The whole back is commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, Bridgewater's built it up. Looks
Cool.
good. I'm just here to represent, I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Nothing to say, just bring it back up.
I think there was some commentary about,
Does anybody want to have a plan?
the original site plan, but I'm looking at a letter here from PG&D. This dated June 26th, which is pretty recent.
Yeah, Joe took care of the things that he was requesting, and then we added the gas traps. They wanted some gas traps. So we put the gas traps in, and it was small things like some markers in here and there. That sometimes the curb, you know, the mounts, the granite mounts, they land right in the middle of the driveway. So you don't want to dig up the person's driveway, so we just put steel pins in. And that was like the marks. That's one of the marks.
We actually have a letter here from PGB replying to it. I shall read it into record if you want me to.
Yeah, read it.
Okay. Yes. July 6, 2023, this is a letter from PGB Engineering regarding Riders Way as-built plan. Dear Planning Board members, this is to advise that we have reviewed the revised roadway as-built plan dated June 28, 2023, prepared by Webby Engineering Associates Incorporated for the subject subdivision. The plan has been revised to address comments contained in our June 26, 2023 letter to the board. Based on our review of this plan, we are satisfied that our comments have been adequately addressed and the as-built plan correctly depicts the construction as built. Please give us a call should you have any questions. Very truly yours, PGB Engineering, Patrick Brennan.
There was only one remaining item that came up earlier today. I had just wondered and inquired as to whether the highway surveyor had been there, because I knew he had a question about something. He sent back an email today that he had not been back to Riders Way since the second two picks, whatever that means. Pictures. Well, no, I know it means pictures, but I don't know what reference to that. The company that made the indents on the road and the berm on number 11 said they would fix what they did. As I said, I have not made it back over there to check. The first picture is where the connected riders to Palmer Mill. You can see where the dirt and the pine needles are settling in the connection, and that's where I believe we will end up having issues. At that time, they had started to backfill the road and the sidewalk with loom, but I don't know if they finished. And he does have some pictures in here. I don't know
Okay.
how they're dated or anything.
Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah, I have, but I know what he's talking about. So on 11 Riders Way, the homeowner had landscaping done, and that was me calling the highway. I actually ratted out one of my neighbors. I called the highway and said, I just paved this road, and they're running their bobcats over my Cape Cod berm. If it turns out to be a problem, could you guys step in and let them know?
Right.
So the highway department, it was Steven, went down, talked to the landscaper, and then he went back with some torches, heated up the asphalt, and there's like paddles on your feet, and they fixed it. So that's good. That was taken care of. The loom is in, and the grass is already grown. We're actually mowing it already, so that's all set. The only other thing is the transition from the road I put in to Palmer Mill. So Palmer Mill, if you go out to it, it has a crown on it like this.
Is Palmer dirt at that point?
It's
No.
pretty close to it. You got about 10 more feet. It's potholes where I come out, it's potholes. But I mean, if I was to, if they want to, I'll do it. I'll cut into Palmer Mill to transition it smoother, but I think we'd be taking a chance on cutting into Palmer Mill because it's like a broken dry cookie. It's all potholes and I can try it. But when we paved it, Plymouth County, they're really good. And when we looked at it to do the transition, we were like, if we run a saw over this thing, it could blow over into a bunch of pieces. And again, it's crowned like this. So where does it end? I'm gonna just keep feathering out. And then it's gonna turn into crumbles because it's not gonna be emulsion, you know, which is like the syrup. Anyways, if they want, I'll cut it, not a big deal. I'll take the saw, I'll slice it and blend it. But everything else has already been taken care of. As far as that New England berm,
Yeah.
he fixed it. The grass already grown, everything's all set. It's just I know what he's saying, because I don't like it either. Every time I pull into the street, it's like it's a V, because mine's level, and then it has a crown, so you get in this corner.
So you get,
And he's worried about sediment sitting in there and creating an issue. Well, the whole road's already an issue. It's dirt. But if they want, I can cut into the main road, as long as everyone's cool with it, I can cut into it and try to make it blend out further, because I have to go in deeper
right,
to
right,
feather
to
out.
be able to-
But if you go, anyone feel free, come right over there and look at it, the road is falling apart, and if I start running the saw over that, I don't even know who paved it. I don't think the town even did. I think that was probably a homeowner years ago.
Probably oil pen from,
You know what I'm saying?
40
Right.
years ago.
I've done these before. When you start cutting them, they don't cut, they crumble. As you're running the saw, it just blows into like little stones,
Yeah,
and then
because there's
it
no
never
nobody
ends.
there, yeah.
It never ends.
So,
My only thought here, not to
no,
cut
no,
you
no,
off.
you're fine. I was just gonna ask you and say something.
My only thought here is that at some point, especially after the bond's released, at some point, the homeowners are gonna petition the town to accept the road.
Right.
Or you're gonna petition the town to
Right.
accept the road. And I think it would be appropriate to have the highway surveyor go back down there and just take a
Sure.
look and talk to you about it.
Come up with a plan.
Or say nothing.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, everything else looks like it's satisfied. I would have no problem myself releasing the bond at the next meeting, but I'd like to have the highway surveyor an
Sure.
opportunity to comment on it.
Yeah, if they want to do like a cold patch, out of the bag, and just do a huge thing of cold patch and just pound it in, heat it up and pound it in level and see if it holds.
Yeah,
But I think cutting the road is gonna make it worse.
A cold patch won't last either.
Cold patch, nothing's
Nothing's
gonna
really
last.
gonna last.
No,
Well, that's what
I
I
was with Steve when he pointed that out.
Oh, you were.
And I can see his point, but then I can see your point too. you
Right.
know?
Well, my only thought is that eventually Steve's gonna end up responsible for this, and
Yeah,
he's
well,
gonna have to
that's-
stand up at town meeting and say, yeah, I'm okay with this.
Right.
Probably the best thing, like you said, let him go down and talk to you and put in his 2 cents.
And
And
if we do all go down, you'll notice, I didn't take any photos or nothing, but 2 feet into the road is a huge 5-foot long pothole.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make this thing baby smooth and you're gonna go right into a pothole. Or if you take a right, you're going down a dirt road.
Yeah. You know,
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I-
No one's gonna ever complain, trust me, because the smoothest,
I don't disagree with you at all. I just wanna give him the opportunity because he's gonna end up being on the firing line.
Absolutely.
The new lumen landscaping down at that, your old house.
Yeah.
The first
Oh,
one on
that's
the
all
left when
fixed
you went in
too. What a
there.
shit show that was.
Because, well, did it change the grade when
I
you
fixed it
put
myself.
it in
I
there
actually
so
went-
that there's no problem
Yeah.
about runoff?
All fixed. I
Did
went out.
conservation come out and take a look at it?
Yep, conservation's all signed off, they're all set. What I did was I shot.
After he's done the lumen work, conservation's been.
Oh, no, no one ever went out in the first place. You know what I mean?
I thought you just said conservation came out and said.
No, beforehand, before this whole issue. I'm telling you right now, the 2 neighbors were arguing because
Right.
11, when
Right.
they had the Bobcat driving over that
Oh,
berm.
that's the first one, 11.
That's 11. They drove over it, which I went down and said they're driving over the berm. When they did that, they brought lumen in the backyard and raised the elevation.
Right,
Blocked the natural swale across the backyard. So the
Exactly.
neighbor next to him, which is 13, one house over, he came down freaking out, asking the town to do something. And I'm like, you should have just came to me. So I went to 11, the one that had the loom put in, and I said, that's gotta come out. I went out there and shot it with the transit and showed him he had to come down 8 inches across the whole back. I got pictures on my phone I can show you. I dug it out myself, reshot it, rehydroseeded it, and it's done and fixed. And then the rain we just had, they all called me and said it works perfect.
oh, 13 was getting water in the backyard.
Well, it was
Without
getting a roadblock.
Probably
Right.
fixing it.
And the thing is, it angered me was you got 13 complaining to the town. It's your next door neighbor. So now the town gets involved and said, you still have to see this guy as your next door neighbor. So I just kind of went over and just put the fire up and said, listen, both of you, come over here, let's just see what this is. Shoot it with the transit. I showed it was only like 6 inches. That's all we had to drop the elevation. Dragged it out with my machine, repower raked it, rehydroseeded it, showed them on a laser. Laser don't lie. I'm like, here it is. Beeps right here, and then it beeps down here. Water goes downhill. And then it rained, and it ran. The water ran, and everyone's happy.
We have to be careful about talking about other people that are hearing with those people not here.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying,
Well,
but
it was a problem that was
no,
brought to
no,
our
I
attention.
understand, but we must make sure we don't cross any lines.
yeah.
I think to your point, it'd be good to get Steve Hayward down there and
Yeah.
get him to get the final comment.
Yeah, like Rick said, Rick and I had met with Steve and walked it down a couple weeks, well, at least 3 weeks
While ago.
probably longer, when we met you down there at the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So I don't, like he said in his letter, he hasn't had time to go and take a look at it since, so.
So I think if we get a motion to,
Amy had a comment first, I believe.
Yes. I just wanted to ask, no, that's okay. So you mentioned who paved the roads probably 40 years ago?
I would say it was probably oil pen
Right.
in a lot of that, it never actually got paved.
Is that a material
No,
or
it was-
is that a company?
It was, no, basically it was just oil with stone, and you just keep driving over it
Yeah.
until it kind of
Like
looks
gas
like
gas.
asphalt.
So if that would have happened in the apps, probably?
Oh, sure, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so my,
That's all South Street and Franklin Street.
Right, that's why it's so bumpy.
and like Haywood probably?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I was saying that is because at my house on the corner there, I would be really terrified if you took on that liability from just human standpoint because it leaf blows, like like the rocks, like they're all broken apart and when you leaf blow like everything on the side of the road, they roll.
90% of the
So if
roads,
he cuts into, I'm sorry, so if he cuts into that, wouldn't that be like,
well, that's why,
right?
Adding to the problem.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, but again, Steve's the highway surveyor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I'm not arguing that he should go out, I'm
Yeah.
just asking for,
Yeah. Yeah, most of the streets in this town were never built.
No.
They were just penned.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, sometimes they actually asphalted over them.
Yeah.
Lots of, Elm Street, they just did a rock and emulsion
Yeah.
on it.
East Bridgewater did the same thing. It actually works.
No, yeah, and it's held up a
It
long
makes a
time.
mess. You gotta clean up all the stones, but it
Right.
does work.
Oak Street, same thing. That was what happened on Oak Street about 10 years ago, maybe.
Mhm.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Let's get back to, a motion
Okay.
to continue the hearing until the next meeting, 7:20,
And request that Steve Hayward gets out there to.
and get his commentary, and then,
Yeah.
Have a letter be sent to Steve, Mr. Hayward.
yeah.
I'm looking just so that I have the, I'll make a motion to have Jordis Rain Riders Way continued to July 20th, 2023 at 7 p.m. In the meantime, please have Highway Supervisor Steve Hayward go out and check that the berm,
Any concerns?
Transition.
any concerns, so I shouldn't itemize them. All right, any concerns they may have will be addressed with Tim Fabrowski so that we can deal with this on July
And
by
hopefully
20.
release the bond. Yeah.
And hopefully release the bond.
'Cause I don't see much holding that back.
Mhm.
Just,
It's been so many years, I forgot I even had it. But you know what? I think.
oh, I'm sure you didn't quite.
Yeah. I actually need to vote, so I'm gonna put that down and vote. But I'm thinking, I don't see what you do with it, but I'll see when he gets there. But the way I would do it, I know that the town doesn't like doing it, is I would use high-strength concrete patch, which is real fine. It doesn't have the stones in it, and it self-levels. I would just shut the road, block the road for 2 hours. It sets up real quick, float it, let it self-level,
And then give you a transition.
and then it would transition on its own, it would just go right in, and then I'd just seal coat over it till it's flat.
Yeah.
And then that's what I do on a lot of houses that I fix that have big potholes, but they'll have to dip. Instead of ripping it out, you float that in, and then you just trowel off, and then you seal coat the driveway. And it's made to go down to 1/4 of an inch, so you can feather it.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely something to discuss with
I do that.
with Steve. If he in fact has a concern at this point,
Yeah.
he may just say, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
I think any and all options are on the table once he gets down there and talks to me, but until this point, I would second that motion, so that, Amy's motion, so that we
So we can
can
get this thing going.
Yeah.
You got a $100 bill?
Yeah.
You used to, when I was young, they had $500 bill, remember that? Until they did away with it.
I never had any, so.
Yeah.
They had $1,000 bills too. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing no one opposed, unanimous, and we'll take care of it on the 20th. We'll get a letter out to Steve.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, I'm living there anyway, so I'll be the one hitting the bump complaining. Right, think about it, I live there.
Well, in particular, because like I said, at some point in the not too distant future, everyone's gonna wanna get that road accepted.
Right.
They want it plowed,
Yeah,
because right now, I've been plowing it for years, but now I'm snowbirding, so thank God this winter we just had, I didn't have to pay anyone.
Yeah, it was a
I got lucky.
for that stuff, yeah.
Right?
But I mean, I know that's coming, and I think we should prepare for it.
I agree. Cool.
All right, we're all set then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night. There you go.
Moving right along,
Sir.
we're gonna affirm some bills. Express newspaper, 933 Plymouth Street, 150 Industrial Drive, 23-SPR-236, ad number 14454. Seems excessive, but for $90, it was signed by the Vice Chair, Mr. Gaynor. Can I have a motion to affirm?
Motion to affirm.
Do I-
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
It's not in here.
Meeting minutes for 6/15/23. I was not at that meeting, so I will let you folks discuss that.
Oh boy. Come on, Bert, what do you got?
I didn't see any, have any corrections, additions, or deletions. I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of June 15, 2023 as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seeing no
I got a second
motion,
sometime.
Second.
All
Let the record
Yeah, I
say
think it was
Rick
your
seconded
turn.
it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Next item up is signatures. Signature authority for fiscal year 2024. See signature stickies. I don't know where we're going.
I'll sign.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, there it
Do
goes.
we need to make a motion to sign it?
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to sign the signature authority fiscal year 2024 planning board, for the planning board.
Second.
Second.
I know.
Aye.
All those in favor? That's what I like. Let's cut this as short as
Let's get
possible.
through it.
While we're doing that, we can move on to inter-office correspondence. Halifax zoning board of appeals, notice of public hearing, 416 Plymouth Street, Kennedy K-9 camp, application for special permit. 21 Plymouth Street, application for special permit to build 2 storage buildings. Okay, that's information. Mail correspondence, Bridgewater ZBA. I don't know that we need to read all of this.
That's necessary.
We have correspondence from the towns of Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, Pembroke. And that's it from Pembroke. What these are for those folks out there in the audience, the way the law reads that any planning board having a hearing needs to notify every abutting town to see if every or any abutting town has any interest in any of the properties that they're going to discuss.
More space buildings. A 2-story space building. Is that what that was?
No.
It's
A 2-story?
facility.
Yeah,
There's
just
one
one-
2-story, and then the rest are all 1-story. It's
Oh,
tucked in by
storage.
Oh, the ones behind the auto parts store.
Yeah,
other business.
you won't see it.
Do we have any other unscheduled business following posting this agenda? I don't believe so.
The only thing I want to kind of throw out there, I guess they did have one relatively good person for to go through the process of being hired as a secretary for the boards. It's in the process thereof. They're trying to set up a date for interviews and all that stuff.
I like Peggy.
Again, there were a couple, there's only,
Peggy has indicated.
we have a choice of one, or one.
Yes.
So there is, actually, I believe she's a lady from Halifax.
Nice.
So hopefully we're moving forward here. Anything else?
I wouldn't mind asking everybody to look into a few bills that the state's trying to pass. One is S626, which would put a 90-day hold for first right of refusal for the state to buy any multifamily houses or houses that have AUDs or in-laws. If they are in a short sale or a foreclosure process. I think
I
that
saw
bill.
that, I read that recently.
There's also a bill being introduced right now to make it illegal in the state of Massachusetts to have a well.
Illegal to have a well?
Yes.
What do you do if there's no town
Well,
water?
and then think about how many towns have wells, but literally it is a bill being written, and I'm letting everybody know because everybody should know.
That's crazy.
And then the other one, what was the other?
The 40R?
why I always talk about that.
Yeah, that's another story all that, so.
But, no, that's not where I was going. Oh, and then the uniform zoning code that the state is trying to push down. The Attorney General was pressing upon that at Realtor Day on the Hill. And so were some realtors, I was not. I think that will circumvent everybody that has property. So like your 1 acre property, everybody can just, like it would just be uniform zoning everywhere across the state.
Yeah, that won't fly.
How can they do that?
They're pressing things down like with an iron fist.
So,
But if,
so Halifax would have the same zoning bylaws as Weymouth?
yes,
Or at
but
least-
that's
okay,
basically
now that
what
makes sense.
40 I would do anyway.
But what you're really talking, I think, is density, right? Not necessarily all bylaws.
No,
but the
they're
density.
talking uniform zoning.
Yeah.
But they're not even reading it, like, so that's the whole entire thing. So like, I think it's just something that hopefully the whole town is aware of now, and hopefully you guys will spread amongst yourselves, because those are things that we need to not have happen.
Thank you. We don't have a need for an executive session this evening, so we will not deal with any of that.
Yes,
And at this point, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
That was quick. Do I have a second?
Second.
You more than made up for it, Rick.
Yeah, that was the,
All those in favor?
You guys need to sign here.
Oh, cool.
Hey, anyone know what's going on with the corner on, at the 106 intersection?